Nintendo Man 64, bringing you what very well may be the final recording session of Kingdom Friggin' Hearts. In the last recording session, we helped save the 100-acre wood by restoring all of the torn pages and reintroducing Winnie the Pooh to all of his friends. We also went to Olympus Coliseum and tamed the Hades Cup, also defeating the Dark Lord of the Underworld, Hades himself, in the process. In this series of episodes, we're going to be tackling all the rest of the side stuff we have yet to tackle, and then tackling the final world and final boss himself, Handsome Ansem. Now, I bet you're wondering why I'm here in Traverse Town. Well, there is one thing I do want to point out first. In the Moogle shop, you will find that I have done a bunch of items and stuff on the side. In fact, I've synthesized up to 13 items. Now, one thing you'll notice as you're going through all of these items is that you see a lot of rare items that we haven't used yet. Like, how do we acquire these items? Like, look at this XP earring right here. Look at all the rare items you need in order to make it. Now, how do you acquire these? That's simple. We have to find and defeat all of the Heartless that drop these items. And those Heartless are especially hard to find. There is usually one Heartless in each world that can do that. In fact, the only world where we will not find one of these rare Heartless should be Olympus Coliseum, because obviously you can't fight Heartless for free there. But as you saw, I got a ton of items made. I made the Gaia Bangle, which significantly raises max HP and defense. I'm going to be replacing that ultimately once I can make more items. Hopefully I'll be able to. Through all these shenanigans, I should be able to make something of substance. But we're going to be finding and looking for all of the rare Heartless while we are in these worlds. And we're going to be starting here in Traverse Town. There is a rare Heartless here. And without a doubt, this is the most annoying one. This is the Sniper Wild. It's basically a recolored version of the Bouncy Wild from Tarzan's World. How you defeat this thing? It's pretty simple. You have to kill it without it noticing you. So basically, let me just change my customization. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. You want Faraga. Faraga is going to be your best friend taking on this thing. Faraga and Stop are going to be your... Goofy, get out of my way. I'm trying to concentrate. Okay, there we go.
See ya.
Alright, we got to wait till it's a bit closer.
Fire.
And you got to kill it quickly before it notices you. Because if it notices you, you're dead. It will summon its friends, and you will never live to see the light of day again. Okay. We failed to kill it that time.
Fire.
But if you can kill it quickly without it being able to alert its friends, you should be able to do well. Now again. Alright, let's stop it. And then run and hide. Let's head back for that little alley coupling where we were, because now, as you can see, we got 3 of them now. So this one's going to be a lot harder to deal with. But you do not want to press the triangle button, because then Donald and Goofy will blow your cover.
Fire! Fire!
Alright, good.
See ya!
Oh crap, no, we ruined it! No! Oh god, yeah, we're dead. We're dead. If they notice you and you fail to kill them, your only recourse is to run. It sucks, but hey, what you gonna do? Maybe we'll find better success with other rare Heartless. Yeah, this is the most annoying one. I wanted to get this one out of the way immediately so we wouldn't have any obnoxious problems to deal with. Is Kyrie still here? Oh, son of a gun, she is. Sora, don't forget the promise we made. Okay, fine, I won't. I didn't intend on forgetting it, but sure, whatever. Okay, now we gotta go to all the other worlds to take on their secret Heartless and rare Heartless and whatnot. But there is so much more we have to do other than that, so... I will show you guys those Heartless first, though, just to be on the fair side. Now, let's go to Wonderland and deal with their one, because their one's a little tricky, too. Not as obnoxious as the Sniper Wild, but it's definitely all along those lines is kind of obnoxious one in its own right. What you want to do is you want to go, when you come here, you want to get to the Queen's Castle. And when you do that, you're going to want to go right back into the Bazaar Room. Now, you'll know you're going to trigger the rare Heartless if you see a series of a bunch of shadows there. You don't really need too many items. Let me store... Actually, keep the Mega Elixir out for later, but I don't think I'll need anything else. Let's see. Alright, good. We triggered it. Okay. What you want to do is just defeat all these shadows. There's going to be 2 or 3 groups of them, and then you're going to get the real Heartless. Which is probably, of them all, the new Heartless, the most unoriginal. If any other Heartless appear other than shadows, you're not going to trigger this rare Heartless. Now, again, there's a chance you won't trigger this rare Heartless, and if that's the case, the same thing with the rare truffles in Neverland, just be patient. You will trigger them eventually. Alright, so here's the 3rd group, and then once we're done with this group, the last group, the actual rare Heartless should come out. Giga Shadows. And here they are. If one Giga Shadow touch hurts Sora, they will run away. So you got to be very careful with that. I've been hit a couple of times, so 3 times actually. The more of these Giga Shadows you beat, the more of the prize you'll get. And we didn't get the rare item. Shit. Oh well. Oh well, at least I'm giving you a tutorial about what to do and how to beat these guys. That's the important part. Now, each of these rare Heartless, as you've guessed, has a special gimmick about it. The special gimmick about this next one in Tarzan's World is excruciating. Now, it's easy if you're good at doing this sort of a minigame thing, but for me, I'm just apparently not good at it at all, so... you want to go to Jane's tent, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go to that area where we fought Sabor the last time. You know, that little bamboo clearing thing. I didn't know there was bamboo in Africa, but whatever. I ain't gonna argue. Guys. If pandas want to eat shit, they should be allowed to eat shit. Let's see if we can trigger it. If we can, that'd be great. Nope, we didn't. Damn it. I don't like when the rare Heartless don't show up. Because then look at all the stupid other Heartless you gotta take out. It's good experience because we're gonna need the experience for later. We're gonna need because we're gonna be battling a bunch of tough enemies coming up. Not only in the last world, but we have secret bosses to still fight. Like in case you haven't noticed, we haven't fought any. Unless you really count the cup bosses, like Hercules and Hades and all them as secret bosses. I don't. Oh my god, I hate my allergies. That was completely unnecessary, Donald, but thank you. Okay. Oh my god! Ugh. Now this is one of those Heartless where if you see, like with the Giga Shadows, if you see anything other than them, you're lost. But you've already lost, basically. So let's go to the cliff and come back. I figured some of these Heartless would be a pain in the ass to find. Why? Now, a lot of them should pop up immediately. The ones I'm most worried about were this one and the one in Halloween Town. Because every other one that I've at least gone to see, at least if they're there in this game, they've been there. This one has been a little tricky. The Giga Shadows have been a little tricky. Ugh. It may take a while. I'm not sure. And there it is. Okay, good. This is the Black Belade. Now, the key to the Black Belade is this. You want to tackle the one that moves. So you want to keep your eyes focused on the one that moved. Now, again, there's a chance you can always be wrong, like I was. This friggin' Goofy keeps getting in my way every time I try to do this. So let's see. Alright. Now, there's a chance you won't get any of the rare items, but you have to keep hitting him, and you gotta hit him properly. Alright. I believe it's in the same spot it was last time. Nope, I was wrong. Oh, I was close, though. It's not like last time where I was wrong as hell. I don't know how many chances they give you. I think it's like 3 or 4. Middle. Nope, wow. I suck at this. See, I told you I suck at this. I'd like to get at least one of these rare items for you guys. Oh, wow, I suck. I suck. I'm sorry. But at least I'm giving you the gist of what you're supposed to do. I could have just completely ignored these Heartless like some other people do. In case you're wondering, though, these rare Heartless are only in the final mix version of this game. So if you have the final mix version on the PlayStation 2, which kudos to you if you got it, because then you got the Japanese version. Or if you have, sorry about that. Or if you have this one that I have, the collection series with the PS3. That's the only way you can acquire these rare Heartless. So if you're not interested in looking and waiting for these, you can always skip to the next episode or the next part. Anyway, next up is going to Aladdin's house here in Agrabah, which is this next one can be annoying, mostly because you never know when it's gonna pop up. You'll notice in a minute exactly what I mean. Now, what you want to do is you want to head to the palace where excuse me, where we fought the pot centipede last time. Of course it's not there. Why would I expect it to be there? Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh my god, I hate allergies. I hate being sick. Okay. I'm surprised that this one didn't show up because it usually always does. It's good like that. There you go. Okay. As you can see, you got this bunch of these little what are they? Pot things. Now everyone you hit will drop off money, except for one. The one that doesn't will, as you expect, be the next enemy, the pot scorpion. Oh, damn it, we found it. Oh well. Now the key to defeating this thing is guard and Aroga. Because you cannot attack it regularly, as you can see. The only way you can attack it is if it stuns itself by either running right into the Keyblade or getting run over by Aroga. Now it'll hurt you if you use Aroga, but it's a lot easier that way, so you don't have to have great timing. Either way, it's going to use a lot of magic, but it's okay. Now, there's a very good chance we're not going to get the item here. Because the more you're more likely to get the item here, the rare item at least, if oh, we got it! Wow! Anyway, as I was saying, I was shocked by that. Anyway, you're more likely to get the rare item if, with the pot scorpion, you take out more of the pots before you trigger it. With the Giga Heartless, it's the more giant shadows you beat, the more likely chance. And with the Black Blade, it's how many times you can hit it without triggering getting hurt. Now again, there's always the chance that, since it's all run on probability, that you can trigger it without worrying about that. Something that I love. Alright, next up is the Heartless Monstro. Now, I bet you guys are wondering why I've been holding on to this Mega Elixir I have. That is entirely the reason. The Mega Elixir is vital to beating this rare Heartless. Because this rare Heartless, as with all the other Heartless's gimmicks, is kind of interesting. The gimmick for this Heartless is actually one of the best gimmicks in the game, if you ask me. What it does is, when you use you have to defeat it by giving it items. It'll hurt you no matter what, but if you want to defeat it, you'll have to give it items. Now, it'll drop potions and ethers and high potions for you to use against it, but the best item to use against it is a Mega Elixir. Mega Elixir is a one-hit KO, and you're guaranteed to get the rare item. Now, you may want to give yourself one or two Mega Elixirs in order to make sure you don't screw up, which is very likely, because the last time I tried doing this, I did screw up and lost a Mega Elixir in the process. Now, ignore the regular Heartless. You want to go to that area, the last area where you fought the Parasite Cage. In its Estomago. And you cannot escape this room without defeating the Heartless. There you go.
This should help.
One hit KO, and there you go. Now, it will take more time the weaker the item, but that's why I use the Mega Elixir, because it is a guaranteed work. Now that we're done here, that was a quick one. Next up is Atlantica. Now, the one in Atlantica is also found in the Tarzan World, so if you're like that worried about being able to take it out, you could do it in either world. Personally, for me, I think it's easier in Atlantica, because it's easier to find, easier to get to, and ultimately just easier to work with here. Now, if you're looking for ways to work with this thing, I recommend you have at least one combo plus here, because this next Heartless depends entirely on how many hits you can land on it while it is stopped. So, what you want to do is you want to start at Triton's Throne. It's in that, remember the white mushrooms we found in the, that little cavern when we were trying to get here the last time we were here? Actually, as it happens, Donald, Ariel's probably going to be a bit more useful here. Whoever can get more combos off, and Ariel can get more combos off than Donald definitely can. So, but remember that little cavern we had to get through to get here? You'll notice it when we get there. You don't have to take out these Heartless. It's irrelevant. The key is to use Stop, Arrow, or Roga, or whatever level of arrow you have if you haven't found all the Dalmatians and whatnot. That's the key. And let's see. Okay, perfect. We found them. Alright. Since they're not moving, you obviously use Stop against them. This counts for all white mushrooms, including ones if you find them later on in other worlds. Alright. They obviously give you all the extra MP. Not all the stuff you need, but Okay, so the key to taking out this one, the pink Agricarius, I believe is what its name is. We'll figure it out. Give yourself arrow, give Ariel arrow, and give Goofy arrow. And last but not least, you stop and go. Get as many hits on this thing as you possibly can. As many as you possibly can, and there's a chance he'll drop the rare item Serenity Power. Now this is the hardest one for me personally, because I've never been able to get it to trigger giving me the Serenity Power. I believe it requires 50 or 60 hits to do. So, don't be ashamed if you can't get it. Alright, next up is Halloween Town. Now, the one in Halloween Town is a lot harder to get to. You've noticed how the last few have been fairly easy to get to, as they're pretty much right at the entrances or close to the entrances to each of these worlds. Not so with Halloween Town, because remember, Halloween Town only has one... Halloween Town only has the one, save point in it, a Guillotine Gate, so... It can be annoying. That's why I made sure I did all the shortcuts for you guys, so it's going to be a bit easier. Now, I don't think I'm going to show the one at Hollow Bastion, mostly because the one at Hollow Bastion's especially easy, and you guys saw me beat a bunch of them last time. The rare Heartless being the invisible soldier things. They're not that important, and their gimmick remains the same. They're invisible until you can damage them enough to make them visible. Sort of like the Stealth Sneak. You know, that chameleon thing that Clayton was riding. Now, this one doesn't really matter who's on your party, so I'm just going to stick with my boys. As much as I'd love to hang out with Jack one more time. There's another thing I'm going to point out in a minute, or like in a couple minutes, but I'll wait until we get to Neverland to do that. Because that's the only place where Neverland, Agrabah, and Olympus are the only places it would make sense to do it in. Sorry, White Mushrooms, I'm not interested. Actually, I think this is the only world in the game where you can trigger all three types of the Mushroom Heartless. You get the black fungus here. You get the rare truffles in the area up ahead right before Oogie's Manor was, where Oogie's Manor was. And then you can get the white mushrooms in the graveyard. Now, you don't have to beat these Heartless. What you want to do is you want to go to the Manor Ruins, which is where, you know, where we took down Oogie Boogie. As you can see here, there's nothing much left of Oogie's Manor except for whatever the hell is down there. If you forgot any treasure chest here, don't be afraid. There's a little crevice over there, as you can see. Let's point that out right there, where I'm staring at, where you can find some of the items that you missed, in case you missed any. But what you want to do is you want to fall down near this rock, and if you run into a bunch of White Knights, then you're probably in the right spot. Because this Pokemon, wow. This guy we're going to be taking out is a little tricky. His name is the Chimera, and like all rare Heartless, he has a very tricky thing to go about him. There he is. Okay, you can see here, he's going down pretty quickly. That's not the gimmick. The gimmick is knocking these colorful orbs into him. The more times you knock the colorful orbs into him, the more damage you'll do to him. The more damage you do to him, and the more tech points you get, the more likely chance you will get the item he gives off. Now, the item he gives off is very important in item synthesis, so if you want to synthesize everything and ultimately get the Ultima weapon, you're going to need to get all these items. Now, I failed at a lot of these items, unfortunately. And the only way to get to the Ultima weapon in this game is to synthesize every other item. Okay, we're missing one orb, and okay, that's fine. That's fine, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if you can't manage to get them. Just frustrating when you feel like you've gotten it and you actually haven't. Ooh, I got Leaf Bracer. That's actually a good ability. Only problem is it has so much PP in this game. Alright, we got the Blazing Stone. Good. At least we got a few of these items. Alright. The last one is in Neverland that I'm going to be tackling. Actually, the last one is in the last world. But we can't go there just yet. And we cannot trigger it until... not when we've beaten the game, but when we're like really close to beating the game. So... but we're done here in Halloween Town. In fact, with the exception of Traverse Town, pretty much any world that has 6 stars on it now, as all the levels have been upgraded, except for Halloween Town, unfortunately, we're done with those worlds. So Atlantica, Monstro, Halloween Town, the Deep Jungle, and Wonderland, we're probably never going to go back to. Now, Traverse Town we'll go back to because that's where you have all the shops to buy stuff. Hollow Bastion we have to go back to in order to trigger this world. Plus, there's a little secret there that I'd like to show you guys. Maybe a little hard to complete ultimately, but hey, you never know. But as you'll notice, Olympus now has a really high power level. Agrabah has a really high power level. And Neverland has a really high power level. Now, why is this? Well, I'll tell you. All 3 of these worlds, and Hollow Bastion included later, but you cannot trigger the one in Hollow Bastion immediately. The one in as I was saying, all of the worlds in those worlds that have really heightened power levels have secret bosses in them. There are a total of 5 secret bosses. You can defeat 4 of them without going to the last world. You can only trigger the 5th by going through the last world. And once again, the 5th secret boss is only in Final Mix, so you cannot trigger it in the original Kingdom Hearts. So if you're playing that game alongside me, you won't be able to trigger that secret boss. But you will be able to trigger the other 4. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, these secret bosses are not a walk in the park. Ooh, I have an AP up. I did not even know that. Coolio Cat. Stock all those items. We don't really need them right now. Oh, I have a lot of AP open. Now, Leaf Bracer would be the right thing to do, but I'm going to save Leaf Bracer for a later moment. You'll understand why when I do it later, but for now I'm going to leave that AP a bit open for now. Because we got to trigger this last rare Heartless. And this isn't it, but that's okay. In order to trigger it, you have... same thing with the rare truffle, you have to defeat all the Heartless that appear. Now the the secret boss Heartless, like, there's just secret bosses in general, because some of them aren't Heartless. In fact, 3 of the 5 are not Heartless. The issue with some of these is that they all range in difficulty. Okay, I knew there was one left over. I was wondering why the music wouldn't stop. And then I know there's the last group here of the pirate ships. One of the few Heartless in this game that did not return in any later game. I think it's the only one. Unless you count the Stealth Sneak. Or the Pot Centipede. But just like the rare truffle, you have to pop in and out of this room and wait for your opportunity. And we did not get it. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not worried. I have a bunch of the items that this one drops anyway, so I'm not particularly worried. Okay, here we go. This is the jet balloon. It looks a lot like that anglerfish we fought in Atlantica. What you need Aroga to beat this thing. To beat this thing properly. Because as you can see, he launches all those screwdrivers at you. If you get hit by a single one of those screwdrivers, you will lose a big chunk of your money. All that hard-earned money you had will go right away, and you'd have to land to get it all back. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? You really can't do much against those. So basically, with all that taken care of, you have to come back to this room, because the only way to get back to the clock tower is to talk to Tinkerbell, and in order to talk to Tinkerbell, you need Peter Pan. Now, I'm not going to be tackling that secret boss first, for obvious reasons. Then that obvious reason being he's very friggin' hard.